Hello everybody, my name is Kid and welcome back from the video of Suzerain. We're going to continue this series, boys. Continuing with the 1 hour special editions. Obviously because I'm trying to finish it as soon as possible. It's a pretty long game, so I want to finish it for the upcoming games, right? Before the other games come out, but I don't think it's going to be possible. I'll try my best though. So let's continue. We went ahead and went to 2 different types of parties. Last video, one of them not too fond of, where Peter basically is cheating on his wife in secret, not good, and the other one where my wife is basically so mad at me she doesn't even talk to me anymore, and she almost embarrassed me in front of everybody in a gala. So that's everything's going great, I guess, boys, aside from that. But let's go into downtown at home and let's see. I guess that's right after the festival. Yep. So it was really less than 24 hours. I was at home now drinking an afternoon coffee on my balcony. A stack of newspapers lay by my side. I picked them up one by one and reading and rereading the articles about the festival. Some of the newspapers were merciless against Monica for interrupting Curtin during his speech. A few even called for her to be barred from political matters. Others expressed their support. Well, I'm more of the side to bar her or ban her altogether from the political side, because after what she did, that's a big no-no. In an event, I was relieved the incident hadn't reflected too badly on me. Exactly. I was putting the last newspaper down on Monica as Monica joined me on the balcony. So you've seen the news. Monica, I know we've been talking. I'm not gonna reply. Here I have it memorized. First lady disgraced. No support for her husband. I'm not gonna reply. Anton, how could you? First you deny me the opportunity to speak at the festival, then you let that dinosaur Leste make a mockery of me in my cause. She grabbed the top newspaper from the stack and started reading it loudly. With her shameful outburst at Enrica, Mayor cursed to Curtin Leste. First Lady Monica Rain once again proved that politics is an area best left for gentlemen. With the president providing no support, her challenge to Leste was quickly defeated. The president provided no support. You can't even stand Leste, and you took his side while making me look like a fool. She started ripping the newspaper to shreds. After all these years by her side, playing the doting wife. You know, my mother was right about you. Alright, here we go again. Alright, what about your mother? What's that supposed to mean? I'm sorry, I don't understand if you never forgive me. I thought you were capable of defending yourself. So clearly not. I'm not sure I can forgive you for this, Anton. But you do have one more chance to make it up to me and offer your real support. No, I was right not to let you speak at the festival. Next time I won't bring you at all. You always have my support. I failed you. I'll give you more chances. No, I was right to not let you speak. All right? I'll never bring you again to a festival, because after what you did last night, that was unforgivable. Come on, girl. You're in the wrong here. I'm not. Monica turned pale with anger. I had never seen her like this. Far be it from me to disagree with the president. But know this, I will never forget about what you did. Never. There was a noise from the balcony door. We both turned our heads to see Dina standing there, a confused look in her eyes. Papa, Mama, why are you fighting? Why are you fighting? It's nothing, we're just talking about work. Well, I'm just gonna stay silent. It's nothing. Your papa and I were just having a little disagreement. Come on, Dina. Let's go to the kitchen. Monica pierced me with her eyes one more time as they left the balcony and closed the door behind them. Her words repeated in my head again and again. I will never forget you or forget about what you did. Oh, look. She's gonna have to forget. Because clearly, I won't change my mind. Alright, she's banned. Literally just banned her for life on all these things, boys. There is no way I'm gonna let her come with me on any other things like that, because after what she did, come on now. Martial troubles in the Maroon Palace. And First Lady disgraced. No support from her husband. Exactly. No support on my side. I mean, come on. The hell was that? All she worries about is her goddamn woman's right. And because of that, she stops thinking about the fact that I got a constitution going. A brand new constitution that could literally free everyone. Not just a woman, but everyone. And she's worrying about like a specific thing instead of worrying about everyone. She's selfish, boys, and that selfishness is not welcomed in my house. That's for sure. It's definitely not welcomed. Like I can't just allow that. She's way too selfish right now. She's got to think about the Constitution and other people at some point. So budget allocation of Swedish armed forces. So now we gotta choose where we're gonna allocate our forces. So let's see. Peter, Walken, and Josef were seated. General Walken, Mr. Lencius, let's start the briefing. Alright, so we have prepared a briefing to convey further details about the current situation of our military. First off, we have received an update communication from the United Content and Military Command. Despite my very vocal disagreement with the plan, their warships are approaching the Conrad Naval Base as we speak. Continent warships in Korniath, I thought I would never see the day. We are keeping them under close surveillance. A single wrong move and we will keep you updated. Exactly. Do not cause any trouble. Alright? Do your best to make them feel at home. Exactly. Josef and Vulcan looked at each other. We will try our best. Now let's move on to our military. Which branch would you like to know about? Well, I'm not exactly Navy, Army Forces, or Air Force. I'm not interested in any details, boys. I'm just here to make the decisions. We clear this throat. The Ministry of Defense is content with the additional funds. Hopefully the allocated money helps our defense needs. Alright, so the increase of the military budget is for national security, which is threatened by Rumberg and other nations. Exactly. Rightfully so. We are surrounded by jackals as our intelligence and general staff indicates. Our enemies are both outside and inside the country. We'll do what is necessary to protect this soil. Should we move on to the spending choices? Sure, I want to hear the suggestions. The increase of the military budget leaves us with big questions about how to utilize it. There was a lot of debate at the ministry, which resulted in two factions of thought. The first faction is in favor of enlarging the armed forces by enlisting more men, with the second faction, while the second faction is in favor of purchasing better military equipment instead. So it's either better equipment or just more men. What is the argument for increasing the size? Well, what is the argument for purchasing? What is the argument for purchasing better equipment? The armed forces are behind in terms of military equipment in comparison to our neighbors. We need a fundamental modernization program. No matter how many advanced weapons and systems we buy, our enemies can overcome them. I doubt that. I doubt they can overcome tanks, boys. I doubt they can overcome goddamn tanks and stuff. So, and M40s and stuff like that. I doubt they can do that. So, looking at a Seer Stone, that sounds bleak. Quality over quantity, always. Of course. Sir, I will be frank, Rumber fills 3 times our forces. Yeah, well, you know what? You heard about the story of 300, right? That's right. I'm telling you right now. It doesn't matter how many forces they've got. If we have a better military forces, if we got a modernized infantry, modernized strategy, if we are better strategists all around, we're going to beat them. It doesn't matter how many soldiers they've got. Our modernization program won't mitigate our difference. The era of large assaults and humans where wave tactics are over. Exactly. You gotta think more modernization, man. Go Napoleonic style. Come on now. We are heading to an era of modern combat which requires modern tools to adapt. What is the argument? Okay, no. I'm settled on this decision. Obviously, I hope this decision is in the interest of all. I'm gonna enlarge the armed forces. Nope. I'm gonna purchase better equipment and begin a modernization program. Exactly. We need to be more modernized. Have drones, have tanks, have big time air force. All that good stuff. You know, radars. radio systems. We're gonna have all the good stuff, alright? This is the best way of beating people up. As you wish, but the decision will be negative for our old doctrine. Glad we made the right choice on this. I'll make the necessary arrangements. They looked at each other. That will be all for today then. Good work, everyone. Alright, so everybody left. The meeting concluded as the sun set over the concrete jungle that was all sorts. So that was an easy one. Sometimes I feel like I don't actually need to hear all their opinions and stuff. I just need to make the decision, right? So I really don't need to do the major military overall. Exactly. We're gonna use that budget to work on increasing or upgrading our military equipment and all that good stuff. We don't need more soldiers, we just need better equipment. Second continent satellite in space. Well, I made the right choice to be with them, boys, because they've got a satellite in space. With that satellite, you know what they can do. They can be of big help for us, intelligence-wise, against future enemies. So experience, there we go. We got experienced generals, happy military personnel, adequately equipped military. See, the military is doing all right now. Military is very good, boys. Doing very good right now. We've got turn 5, another thing that happened. And now let's see, we got some reports, all sorts, education reforms. It's reported the massive overall due education is progressing very well. Good, so that's going well. And young surge militants arrested. Okay. And anything else that we got? Okay, so we got something in Wehlen right here. And we've got Agnola. Well, first off, let's go to Agnola first. Trade talks with the Prime Minister. Let's go to Agnola. Alright, so David left his seat and came over while Simon was enjoying his newspaper. Looks like we are about to land, Mr. President. I looked outside as I could see Helgeland, the island in between Vagsland and Agnola. So many conflicts over a small piece of land, the island can barely sustain itself without outside help. I know, I was just thinking the same thing. If I was on the shoes of annual Prime Minister, I would do anything to protect the motherland. I don't blame them. It's a very strategic position, exactly. Certainly, if you have that island, that means you are in control of the whole Vaglis channel. I suspect it will be one of the topics that Mr. Van Houten will bring up as a bargaining chip. We must be careful. This island might be under the control of Agnola, but international community is yet to recognize it, for a good reason too. Nobody wants to make an enemy of Vagsland, especially because of the support of United Cantana and CSP. I don't care we are against. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. Exactly. We should try to look at the bigger picture. Simon folded his papers, got up from his seat and sat right next to me. To us, aside from the point of Agelan, we need to be careful within the additional requests. According to the deal that was negotiated so far, they want to sell us the steel for a higher price, and they're requesting easier access to our agricultural market. In return, they are promising cash flow investments, especially in the Anglan region. It's not hard to guess why. Precisely, Agnolan immigrants in our Anglan region make up a good chunk of the region's economy now. During the initial negotiations, they have brought up the topic of immigration many times. Our jobs will be harder because of the new Titan immigration laws. Let's see if we can shake it ends on it. The pilot make an announcement that the descent has started. Okay, I took a look outside the window. I could see Stallport. The large dockyards of the city and the canals appear closer as our descent continues. Stallport was certainly a fitting name due to stall meeting canal. A couple minutes later, we finally touched down. The plane parked. I took a final look at the window. The welcoming ceremony from Agnola was waiting along the red carpet outside. After the guards made their way out, I exited the plane. Wave at the crowd. I'm gonna wave at the crowd. There we go. Prime Minister Van Houten was nowhere in sight. Instead, I was greeted by the Foreign Minister. After head shakes at a couple of photos, I moved to the car where Sergei was waiting to make our way to the office of Prime Minister. Good stay, sir. I hope the flight was comfortable. Yes, it was. Thank you, Sergei. There we go. I got in the car and we made our way through the foreign streets. Our convoy was protected by Sordish and Anolan guards in their vehicles. We began driving by the highway besides the port and saw dozens of dockyards and ships anchored. Some of the ships and machinery looked old. The city itself looked very grey and grim. The buildings had a touch of Rumburg's famous monarchian architecture with a mixture of Swedish signature domes on the older ones. We were now on the main road to the office of the Prime Minister. Looks like they're not too happy to see you, sir. Really, why? Why not? Sergei pointed at the crowd that gathered on both sides of the street. It was a protest. They were shouting and yelling at our convoy. Some of them held signs written in Swedish. Sweden must pay its debts to Agnola? What have we done to them? You know, I've never knew Agnolans were so ungrateful. Not everyone sees a great leader like you every day. You're absolutely right, so ungrateful. Well, they can yell all they want, I guess. I know what it is. They were always scared of Swordlin's potential, and now they are afraid that Alliance leads Swordlin. They are afraid of you. Yeah, they probably are. The convoy started slowing down. We have arrived, sir. The car continued through the gates while the security vehicles went the other way. Finally came to a stop in the front door. Sergei left the car and opened the car door. I exited and began walking to the door where dozens of press and the Prime Minister were waiting for me. I saw the Prime Minister much more clearly as I neared the door. He was shorter than I thought. Mr. President, welcome to Agnola and to the beautiful city of Stolport. Prime Minister? Well, thank you so much for the warm welcome. It's great to be here. He reached out for a handshake. The press surrounding us had been waiting for this moment. Overpower his handshake. Well, I'm just gonna shake hands. I'm not gonna... I'm gonna shake hands, alright? That's it. So, he gestured to the entrance in the 200 years old Parliament building. This way. We entered and the press followed us inside. I would like to present you with a gift as a sign of friendship in between our countries. An assistant showed up immediately with a large glass box in her hands, and it contained a single parchment inside. This here is one of the first treaties written in between Swordland and Agnola, just like the one you have prepared with Mr. Witchy before my term. We made it mark the renewal of our friendship today as well. I hope so. Well, this is an amazing gift, thank you. Our photos were taken again. I gestured one of the Martyrs who was holding our gift to the Prime Minister. Gift one of the original copies of the first constitution of Swordland. Gift a Swordish bred puppy, despite Martin's known fear of dogs. Nope. Gift an unarmed ceremonial sword made with sword and shield. No, I'm gonna give them the original copy of the first constitution. There we go. Ah, an excellent copy. I've always wondered what one of the originals looked like. Thank you for this excellent gift. There we go, exchanging gifts, boys. The cameras flash once again. Let's go to my office, follow me. Followed him and entered the office. It was a room wooden minimalist decoration. It was far more modest than I expected. We sat down and he leaned back and made himself comfortable. Thankfully, down with the ceremonies. Are you not fond of these ceremonies? I was just about to say I'm not fond of these either. There we go. It's one of the tougher parts of our job. He got up from his chair and moved over the bar. There were many varieties of liquor. Would you like a drink, Mr. Rain? I wouldn't mind some Agnola vodka. I would just water is fine. He poured the drinks and gave mine to me before sitting down again. Let's go straight to business. A true gentleman, I can respect that about you, Mr. Odin. What was with that protest outside? Can you control them? Well, let's go straight to business. I'm not just gonna say that. Yeah, let's. First of all, I would like to say that I've been awaiting your recent changes to the immigration policies, or watching, I guess. We have worries about the new and tighter immigration laws. Immigrants are very important for beneficial economical development, and we believe that very much in Agnola. I would definitely prefer Solon to be welcoming to Agnolan citizens and vice versa. Well, the decision has already been made. Unfortunate. He took a sip from his vodka. So tell me, Mr. Rain, is Swordland a reliable trading partner to Agnola? Not if you keep acting like you have the upper hand. Well, as long as Agnola is a reliable trading partner as well. Exactly. I can assure you, we are. He paused for a moment. It was a good move to start building that highway. Overall, this was positively affect our trade. Well done, Mr. Rain. Thank you. You are very kind. Well, I didn't do it for Agnola. No. Well, thank you. You are very kind. There we go. He leaned back further in contemplation. That's what it's going to be. Let's change the course of our nations. Are you going to talk all day about the past days, or are we going to sign this deal? Let's change the course of our nation. Exactly. First of all, if we shake hands on this agreement is going to be really beneficial for both of us. You should be able to solve your recessions in no time with investments and money flow coming from us. This is, as you know, on top of the reduced tariffs from trades in between our countries. Of course, in return, as discussed between my people and your people before, you will allow us privileged access to our agricultural market. You will be buying steel from us for a higher price, which is a small price for you to pay, really. That is the deal. What do you say, Mr. Rain? -1 government budget? I'm sorry, but I can't agree. This is not a beneficial deal for Swordland. I'm just gonna accept. I've got the budget. I'll accept that. Why not? Yeah, we'll accept that. It's a deal. It's a done deal. Our economy is gonna go up. Excellent. Before we dive into the paperwork for the trade deal, I want to offer you another possibility. I would like to expand on our newly found partnership. We have regional forces like Romberg that has been imposing danger on both our countries, and I am to the mind that we must unite. So, by the powers bestowed upon me as the Prime Minister of Agnola, I am offering you a military alliance in between Swordland and Agnola. Well, there we go, boys. That's why I went with Agnola. I didn't even hesitate to accept the offer. I don't care if we spend some government budget and we have to pay a little bit more with the trade deals. I don't care. He's directly a neighbor to my main enemy. So it's a 2v1 situation, boys. Obviously, I want to sign with him. Now, he does have a confrontation with the Cantona, maybe. And we do have their navy on my ports, but I think we're going to be fine. With the Cantonans navy and the Agnolan support, the other dudes, the Romberg, is probably gonna be scared to shit, man. They're not even gonna dare attack us at this point. So, what do you think? Very well, I accept. Definitely accept. Military alliance for both of us. This is excellent to hear. Our ministers will go over the details later. Now that we have gone this far and we are willing to enter an alliance, there is another topic that I would like to bring up. As you know, Hajilan has been long contested between Agnola and Vaslin. Those warmongers want to take back the island. You know, the international community does not recognize our rightful claim on the island, including Swordland. What better act to cement our alliance than announcing to the world that Swordland recognizes island to the Agnolan territory? I would gladly do that. You're asking too much. Another sensible deal. I accept again. Yes, I'll accept. I'll recognize your you on that matter. Why not? Most excellent. Today is a historic day. Congratulations, Mr. Rain, for making all the right decisions today. Well then. He stood up from his chair. We must continue the official program. As you know, we will pay a visit to your founder's grave for another ceremony. Afterwards, we will move on towards the state dinner. I won't be joining. It's time for we are on our way back home. Well, after you then. There we go. As soon as we left the office, I briefed Simon and David on the outcome of the meeting. The rest of the state trip was full of fake smiles, handshakes, incredibly long ceremonies, and even long meetings between our ministers and their counterparts. When we came to the end of the trip, the way back was mostly silent. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief when we touched down on All Swords. It was time to discuss the good news. We are well protected now. Economy, promote market economy. There we go. That has been done. We have promoted that, boys. So, system and advising businesses to shift towards this goal. There we go. So that's done. Diplomacy, boys. So we got higher price steel imports, which is not good. But I know that priority in agriculture market, which is fine by me. News. Let's see the news. Swordland and Agnola enter an alliance. There we go. So that's perfect. And Swordland recognizes island Edgeland as Agnolan territory. Surprising move. Mr. President Rain has announced that Swordland will recognize Edgeland as Agnolan territory after his visit to the Agnolan Prime Minister, sending ripples around the world. This is an island that has been long disputed in between Agnola and Wehlen. To this strategic position. Following the Agnolan derailing operations in the previous months, the situation has escalated and the warships got engaged in the standoff over the international waters. Regardless of the return value from this move, one thing is for certain: actively siding with Agnola was unfortunately mean opposing Wehlen in the current dangerous climate. I'm all for it, boys. If you want to go with Romberg on this, I'm all for it. They can't beat us, alright? I've got way too many health, boys. I'm gonna be fine. So, we still have Wehlen right here. We need to deal with them. We need to talk with them. I've already made my decision. I don't think that I can align myself with them. If I can align myself with them, it would be a little bit too OP, I'm pretty sure. It would be fun, but let's try it. Let's see. Alright, so we've entered, boys. Along with Simon and David, we launched at the international airport of the capital city of Wehlen. Our aims here are to finalize a trade deal drafted in between Suzerain and Wehlen. Is it possible to actually have a trade deal between Agnola and Wehlen? If we can, that means our nation is going to be very rich, because even Agnola itself helping us is going to really be helpful. Imagine if Wehlen can help us as well. Shortly after our plane landed, the door opened and the sun blinded me for a moment. I stepped outside. I saw the soldiers lined up on the other side of the red carpet. There must have been at least 100 soldiers. The marching band started playing and the soldiers immediately saluted me. Salute the soldiers? I had the bottom of the stairs. Smolak was waiting for me next to a military jeep with a few soldiers by his side. There were a few reporters on the side waiting for their cameras. He was a tall man, almost as tall as me. He was wearing large sunglasses and his attire was a regular suit, contrasting with the military attire of everyone else in the field. Mr. President, welcome to Workless Risk. He immediately mentioned for an embrace. We hugged and many cameras went off at the same time. He turned around for a couple of additional poses. Nice to meet you, Mr. President. There we go. Now that the presenters are done, let's go. We will take the jeep for a tour. With another tune for the marching band, we boarded the military jeep and sat in the driver's seat, and I sat next to him. As we started speeding up, the soldiers saluted again. He saluted back. Salute the soldiers. There I go. The security detail in the security detail started following us immediately, along with a team of reporters. We will first go to the city center to see the opening of a statue. Whose statue? Well, I'd rather not waste time. Go straight to business. Whose statue? Exactly. It's mine, of course. Alright, this guy thinks he's Stalin or something. We kept making small talk about the flight and the weather until we started making our way into the city center. On almost every corner that we were reporters taking photos of us. Oddly enough, every single street that we took seemed completely empty. Is this always empty? I had the locals close down their businesses because of your visit so that you can enjoy the city more. Okay, that's kind of strange. There we are. We have arrived at the city center in the middle of a large plaza. There was a covered statue. Lots of people have gathered behind fences and they were waving both Suzerain and Wehlen flags. Victor waved back at them. My people have been very supportive of this visit, Mr. President. I'm sure you are delighted to see. A man came closer to the fences and started yelling at Victor. With my limited knowledge of the visit's language, I understood the words Victor and murderer. Murderer? Almost instantaneously, two soldiers showed up from behind the man and he was taken away. Thankfully, the sun is up. Today will be a good day for the reveal. Alright, so I see that you know how to handle dissidents. Very good. What will happen to the men who are protesting you? Let's get this over with. Let's just get this over with. Very well, let's take our places. We take our places in front of the statue. With a drum roll, the statue of Victor's Smolak was uncovered. The statue was done pretty well, except that he was made from more masculine. He was wearing a cloak and holding a sword in his hand. Excellent statue, very lifelike. What do you think? Mr. I don't have time for these games. Yes, it's very good, very lifelike. Let's go. Let's do that. Let's be kind to him. Glad you appreciate the art behind it. Join me for a walk. I followed him through the streets. At every corner, more and more photos were taken. We stopped in front of a pastry vendor on the streets. Give me 2 strudels. The man behind the stand smiled and gave us 2 strudels. Are you going to pay for it? I'm gonna pay him. There we go. I put my hand on my wallet, brought out some money to give the vendor. Hold up. Your money doesn't count here. I got this. He handed me the money to the street vendor. The cameras flashed again. There we go. Afterwards, we walked a short distance to the palace. Passing the gates of the palace, we made our way into the main building, made from ivory-colored stones. The old guard towers flanked the magnificent main building from both sides. The inside of the palace was very spacious, with a very large chandelier hanging over the ceiling. Grand staircases made for the same ivory stone had red carpet on them. On both sides of the upper levels, guards stood with the traditional outfits of the old Wessex kingdoms. We finally reached the office of the president of Wehlen. The door closed behind us. The interior boasted gold ornaments on the walls, ivory collars, and various jewels attached to the different artifacts of old. So he's kind of acting like a king, basically. That's all it is. As it was customary in Wehlen, we sat down on the carpet. Now we can talk about our trade deal. There we go. I'm gonna nod. There we go. But before that, he clapped his hands twice. Bring the Keisha. Okay. A few assistants immediately entered the room, carrying a large ornamented Keisha, that was the well-known smoking instrument originating from Wehlen. They immediately lit it up, and the room was filled with the smell of tobacco. He ignited the smoke on one head and handed me the Keisha. I don't smoke. There we go. Your last is the finest tobacco in the land. He took another puff, filling the room with more smoke. So, Mr. President, but that's too long. Then can I call you Anton? I prefer my official title. Sure. Call me Anton if you want. Anton, tell me, what do you really think about Rumberg? Barking dog doesn't bite. They are a threat that needs to be dealt with. Exactly. I agree with your sentiments, Anton. They are a threat to everyone in the region. I assure you their time will come. In due time, yes. Are you planning something? Yes, in due time, yes. For now, I have something else in mind. I'm listening. He clapped his hands again. Two assistants came in the room with a map of the border regions in between Wehlen and Suzerain. He pointed it at the border. Bloods and their so-called BFF are causing problems for me in the region. I know there are also a problem for you as well. I will not allow these traitors to exist in my borders, so I will hit them with all the might of Wehlen. These terrorists need to be destroyed. I call it Operation Bear Trap. I don't support any military action this close to our borders. What do you want from me? Well, I like the sound of that. Well, what do you want from me exactly? He grinned and lay back on the large pillow behind me. Here's the deal. I will give you the best trade deal in the region. You will give me your assistant crushing the terrorists on both of our borders. I need specifics. Absolutely not elemental in Wehlen's military invasions. Two birds in one stone. Well, I need specifics. My spies have infiltrated BFF cells and they found caches of KA-74s. We traced them back to Rumberg. This alone justifies my retaliation to protect my country. Who are these guys, by the way? The Bloodish Freedom Front. Bloodish militant and political organization. Okay. Well, I guess I can help him. Why not? I guess if it means he's willing to help me financially, I can help him with the military stuff. Plus, I've got Agnola that can help him as well. Worst of all, we also found that similar shipments are going through Suzerain. Yet, yes, Anton, you see, this is not just Wehlen's problem. Let's take a step back and talk about what you will get in return. I propose you a no-tariff agreement, co-investments projects, and oil. In return, you will assist me in destroying the terrorists in my country. What kind of support do you need from me? Can't Wehlen handle it by itself? Well, there might be international ramifications from that, yeah. To hell with the international ramifications. I will protect my country. I don't care what they say. What I want from you in return for all the money and the resources is a joint operation in between our armies against BFF. I took a moment to think about it. No deals too risky. Let's negotiate Sworden's contribution in this operation. Yeah, we're going to negotiate. If you want me to be military, have a military presence with you, let's negotiate a bit further. Let's understand what you're offering me here. You are a tough one, Anton. Normally I wouldn't offer anything else, but I like you. Here's my final offer. When the operation starts, with you or without you, there will be stragglers trying to cross into Sordon. We just want you to support the operation even if you do not join. Stop the terrorists from fleeing into your country and you will have your deal. Simple, isn't it? Oh, okay. So basically I create a wall. Okay. So I just block it. I've already closed my borders anyways, so stop it. I don't need to literally go in and shoot them. I just need to prevent them from going into my border. I think that's fine. That's a good deal. So what do you think? It's a good deal. Let's do it, boys. Let's go. It's a good deal. I knew I could trust you. Tonight we will drink. He clapped his hands again. Drink, dancers, music. A group of dancers and performers entered the smoke-filled room. As they performed their songs, we clinked our glasses to our newly found partnership while sipping the sweet Wizek liquor. The next day I returned to Sordon with a hangover. Alright. So it looks like we have two allies. We managed to convince both of them to help us. So Agnola's got a military alliance with us and they're helping us financially. And in return, all I had to do is give them some agricultural market thing. And I had to recognize the Heliport thing. And for Wehlen, all I have to do is I don't even have to actually fight the BFF. I just need to prevent them from going to my borders. So I just need to block the path and they're gonna get stuck in Wehlen. So that's all I need to do. That's perfect. My economy is gonna go super up, boys. So I negotiated the deal between both of them. They're both gonna help me, which is fantastic. That means I'm a really good dealer, boys, right here. I got two places at once. And Rumberg, they're willing to help me with Rumberg as well. Which means Rumberg is really in a bad place right now. So joint military exercise, really good. All of these things, boys, you can see. Economy as well, increased trade volume. Look at that. Our economy is going to go up in no time, boys. It's going to go really up. Alright, so let's see. Speech of the president on the reforms. Okay, so the newly added reforms. Is this the time for the constitution and stuff? I came to the Grand National Assembly of Sordon to deliver a speech regarding the new constitution and ask for the support of the assembly before the upcoming vote. There we go. I walked quickly through the corridors, giving my greetings to people on my way towards the Parliamentary hall. When I entered the hall, the assembly was in complete chaos, with shouting and cursing between the parties. There was a heavy argument about a proposal made by an MP from NFP, the National Front, okay? The nationalists, basically, boys. Okay, what's this all about? I took my seat inside the special area reserved for my ministers. Gloria was shouting from her seat at the center of the hall as she hit the gavel 3 times, with each strike heavier than the one before. So is she the one? Okay, no, I guess. Order! Order! I saw Kessler Kibenir standing up from his seat and shouting towards members of that party. Who is he? Sordish Political Forum, National Front Party. I'm not sure who is he, boys, but I'm not sure. Who are they? People's Freedom Party. Okay, everybody's yelling at each other, I guess. Mr. Kibenir, calm yourself. Show respect to the procedures of this assembly. Despite our efforts, the argument continued for a couple of minutes before everybody took back to their seats and finally went quiet. Mr. Kibenir, next time when I tell you to do so, either take your seat or leave the hall, so we can proceed with the procedures of this assembly, continue our duties. Some MPs from the NFP shouted back at her in protest. Honorable ladies and gentlemen, if you allow me to continue, she pointed at me. We have the president here with us today. He asked us to give an important announcement. The assembly fell silent. You have the floor, Mr. President. I walked the stand as loud clapping started on the USP's side. Alright, so USP, these are the guys that I have on my side, boys, for now. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable members of the assembly. There we go. I am here today to raise important questions regarding our outdated constitution. The Supreme Court holds too much power. Our election threshold has harmed our democracy more than anything. Our constitution doesn't adequately define or respect the separations of powers. I'm gonna say the Supreme Court holds too much power. There we go. Over our elected branches. They have been obstructing the law-making process and has long plagued the democracy in Swordland. Tarkin's soul gave this power to the court for the sole reason to protect the constitution of the 20s, which lead us to fail in adapting the new world. I continued. Therefore, we propose change to the constitution to prepare Swordland for a more democratic era. We must finally rewrite the constitution of Soul and break our chains of the past. I call everyone to stand by us to make historic changes to our constitution and bring it to the standards of today's world. I'm just gonna go democratic era. There we go. Applauses come from USP and these guys' seat. There we go. So two, at least I got 2 members right here. We will break the Supreme Court's authority over constitutional changes. We will rebalance the branches of government to ensure a more democratic process. There we go. I focused on unity, change, peace. I focus on unity. There we go. We must unite. It is more important than ever that we stand united as a nation in these changing times. I call everybody to be part of the change our people has been calling for. We all want to make Swordland better, don't we? Let's embrace democracy and unite under the banner of our people, and surely Swordland will be great again. We'll make Swordland great again. Let's embrace the future. We'll make Swordland great again. Just as I was about to continue speaking, Gloria interrupted me. Mr. President, with all due respect, I believe Swordland is already democratic. Not enough, my girl. It's not enough. I am not finished yet, Mystery. We both know that our constitution is flawed. Exactly. Tarkin's soul and his efforts cannot be ignored. We must keep following the path he defined for Swordish people. I'm sure the honorable members of USP will see that the president is acting rash by aligning with the opposition to destroy the culture of Solism that established Swordland. That was the extent of my quick note. Thank you, Mr. President. As the floor. That was respectful. Okay, so we are not here to destroy Solism, nor our cultural values. Who are you trying to provoke, Mr. Ree? OSP is behind me. I'll act as if that didn't happen. Well, look, we're not here to destroy Solism, nor our cultural values. Please continue your speech, Mr. President. I took a breath and continued. Ladies and gentlemen of the Assembly, we must set aside our differences. It is time to make a new constitution together. I ask everyone to think clearly about the current situation and join us for a change. No. We must set aside our differences. Exactly. Be part of a new era for Swordland. Join us and vote for a proposal. I ask everyone to support us. Ladies and gentlemen, I demand your vote. I ask everyone to support us for the upcoming vote. Well, be part of the new era of Swordland. Join us and vote for our proposal. There we go. Let's write the future together. I will address all the problems of the past in the proposal. USP will change and lead the Swordland in the future. Let's write the future together. Well, I will address all the problems of the past in my proposal. Let's write the future together. Let's do this one. Salute the crowd. Finish with a poem. I'm gonna finish with a poem. I decided to read a poem before I ended my speech. There is a destiny above destiny. Well, there is a victory growing with every morning. There is a destiny above destiny. There is a destiny above destiny. Okay, so let's see that. There is a revolution that is coming. There is a God beyond existent and non-existent. There is my country, be everything, my beloved. There we go. There is my country beyond everything, my beloved. There is a song to be sung in affection to our victories. There is a spring that blossoms over the graves of a fallen. There is evil that tortures and tears me down. Well, there are songs to be sung and affections to our victories. Do not doubt the one. There is a decision coming from the heavens. Fear not when the dark falls. There is an artist painting the sun. Do not dare to surrender. There is victory that grows with defeat. There we go. And beyond the next morning, there is victory waiting for to be won. The assembly roared with all kinds of different reactions. Some applauses came from these two seats. Most of the others started to make loud noises again. Thank you for the speech, Mr. President. I walked back to my seat as many asked to speak. Frank Richter was among them. Yes, Mr. Richter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank Mr. President for his speech. We, the People's Freedom and Justice Party, stand in agreement with the need for a more democratic constitution. I would like to thank the ladies and the gentlemen of the United Southern Party for their more open attitude compared to past years. As long as Mr. President's words prove not to be just words, we will be behind this much-needed movement for change. We welcome this attempt. I ask Mr. President to share the final contents of these proposals as soon as possible. Thank you, Mrs. Speaker. Kizara Kibiner started yelling from his seat. This guy from the National Front Party, I think he's pretty much annoying right here. President must have lost his mind to cooperate with the likes of you, Mr. Richter. You and this party are nothing but puppets of Western interests. Order! Madam Speaker, I know you are in agreement with me as well. Don't stand idly there while this administration is making deal with snakes and undermine the integrity of... Order, Mr. Kimler. How many times do I need to say you are speaking out of... I demand to speak. Dora gave him a stare. She looked annoyed. Alright. Is she not the speaker? If she is the speaker, she is the one who makes the decision on who speaks and who does not speak. If this guy starts interrupting her and starts telling her what to do, then we'll have a problem right here. So I think he's gonna have to get the hell out of the assembly because he's clearly not in control of his emotions right now. Very well, Mr. Go ahead. Mr. President. He looked directly at me. The nationalist movement does not agree with your priorities nor the way you are trying to implement them. The National Front Party will not stand with you on the new constitution. Let it be known that the National Party concerns are not included in these so-called democratic reforms. Thus, Mr. President has no right to claim them as such. We will stand our ground against any attempt to bring down our established political culture and national values. Thank you. Carlos Casero went back to his seat from the chaos in the assembly. Continue. Well, I still got 2/3 right now. So, too bad for you. Asked to speak? I'm going to ask to speak. There we go. Yes, Mr. President? Mr. Kevener, I just wanted to thank everybody. I'm just going to say, Mr. Kevener, it is you who shouldn't use the word democratic when you want a more centralized government. We're not specifically cooperating with someone, but everyone. We ask that you also join us. I am saddened to hear that your president says, look, we're not specifically cooperating with someone, but everyone. All right, everyone's going with each other. He watched us as he slouched on his seat, leg crossed. Do not stand against change. Be a part of it. We can do much more together. All right? I respect your opinion. We don't need you. Don't you dare stand against us. Otherwise, know that the MVP is guaranteed to be history. Oh my. I respect your opinion. We don't need you. No, do not stand against us. All right? We need you. We need you as well. Everybody needs to work together. I expect your support in the upcoming vote. We'll bring change regardless of your support. Thank you. Your times have passed. Look, I expect your support. There we go. Now you looked at me to see if I'd finish my response. Mr. Richter. There we go. I looked at him. Thank you for your nice words. We'd like to have corporations between our party. Rest assured your concerns would be addressed. Thank you for your nice words. There we go. I expect your support, Mr. Ritter. Can we do much? We can do much together. Thank you for your support. Yeah, we can do much together. Looked at me as if I'm finished. All right, thank you, Mrs. Speaker. I got up from my seat and started my walk towards the exit. MPs kept shouting and responding to each other, creating a loud mess where nothing was legible. Order, order. The topic has finished. We're moving into our next topic. I slowly left the hall. The shouting could be heard from every corridor to the Grand National Assembly. So there's a big split going on. I hope I managed to reform status. So far they have been able to get in total 121 signatures behind the proposal. Efforts are underway to increase the support and to reach out the necessary members to reach 150. I am doing my best to get their 150. I'm trying to convince them. If I can convince the National Front Party to accept, we should be all right. We've got already 2 parties with me. I just need the third one, to be honest. And I would need the support of the speaker, but the speaker does not support me, so it is what it is. It's not easy, boys, to get the support of everyone, but we're gonna definitely try our best. Defense Minister Joseph reports that the Wehlen borders have been closed and the divisions of the Third Army are ready for the operation. Okay, good. Wealth of nations. We're gonna be wealthy, boys, because we got a trade deal going on with both Wehlen and Agnola. Now, there is a big war coming up, for sure, against Rumberg. Big military stuff that is gonna happen. It's just good for me, overall. I feel like... It's just, I feel like we're doing good stuff. If I can manage to get my constitution to go up and to actually happen, with my economy going up all the time, this is gonna only be good stuff. Elf requires more resources. The hidden power of men in uniform. Alright. So, what's next right here? A report from Agnola. Barrington wins the election. There we go. General elections. He won his election, so he's back in office. That's good. Good for us, for everyone, I guess. All sorts, we got a bunch of report. Privatization plan. Has finished privatization proposal plan in order to increase the resources of the health system and to increase the quality of services through a small market competition. Okay, so that's done. Next up, Ministry of Justice files Urson versus Swordland Conquerors. So, Ministry of Justice has reviewed the Urson Swordland case and put forward its Conqueror's opinion before sending the dispute to the Supreme Court. The Vice Minister of Justice came forward agreeing with the case of Urson and pointed out that the majority of court dissent would do disservice to the legal precedent of future constitutional right cases. Okay. Okay, so what about this? General Staff gathers. So, a convene to Ministry of Defense. So, that's good. Now, meeting with Joseph. Let's see what this is all about, boys. Let's see what he's got to say with me. The great beautiful structure looked daunting. I never liked this building. It always made me feel like I was staying under the concrete foot of a giant getting ready to crush me. It made me feel small and I never quite got used to this feeling even after this many years. At the entrance, I was greeted by Joseph and his military entourage of young officers. Welcome to the Ministry of Defense. We walked from the corridor to reach the office. On the way, we were met with high-ranking officers as well as privates. Every time one of these soldiers saw me, he stopped and saluted me. When we finally arrived at Joseph's office, his entourage saluted us and left. He closed the door and took a seat. Alright, so where's Vulcan? He usually partakes in all military meetings. Let's see what he says. Vulcan is busy at the moment overseeing the defensive strategies against Rumberg. Okay, I got you. He leaned back and interlocked his hands. The situation with Rumberg is getting worse, and if it wasn't for our investments in the military, it would even be more concerned. I will make sure it won't come to that. We are prepared for the worst, aren't we? Your tone doesn't inspire confidence. Well, I'll make sure they won't come to that. Not everything might be up to us, sir. Our efforts to restructure the military should prove beneficial in a potential conflict. We would never be able to match the force of Rumberg on equal terms. Therefore, a switch to the military to a smaller, well-equipped, and autonomously led combat units would prove better in the field. Yeah. That plus the fact we got 2 allies on our front, so there's nothing to worry about. It's the 3v1 situation. You've been doing a fantastic job, Joseph. The military is in good hands. There we go. I'm doing my best to defend this country. There is nothing I care for more than Swordland. The recent military partnership we have signed with Agnola includes a mutual defense cause. In case of conflict, we will be obliged to come to each other's aid. In case of Rumberg's invasion, they will come for help. Do you think their support will be enough to hold the line? This is a disgrace that we have to rely on. No. Do you think their support would be enough? I don't think so. Mr. President, we need stronger allies. Sure, I know that it's better than nothing, but we must look further. Lesbia and Vaseline are options, in my opinion. Do you really think that it is absolutely necessary? Advice noted, I will bring it up to David. Well, Swordland stands alone, as always. Well, advice noted, I guess. Any deterrence should force them to think twice. As a result of the recent deals with Wehlen, we have started reinforcing the borders. Forward scouts have been deployed, and we have started moving our divisions. Rest assured, we are ready for anything that will come from the other side of the border. We will be providing our reports to you. I don't think we will have any problems, but stay alert. We don't know what we are dealing with yet. I don't want anyone in. Do not let a single deserter pass our borders. Try to be lenient if possible. There might be people who are simply trying to escape. I don't want anyone in. All right? We won't, Mr. President. There we go. He cleared his throat. Let's move on to our main topic. The military conscription law has become a matter of discussion, and we need to strike a decision whether to keep it or remove it. The facts are that the conscription gives us a large reservist pool that can cover a larger front line, but these troops lack the morale or quality to be offensive elements. It is the last step remaining to switch to a modern professional armed forces. Our reconstruction is endured by hundreds of thousands of cadets, extending our logistics, throwing command structure, and reducing the combat efficiency of our experienced units. If there are hindrances, then we should remove military construction. Are reservists really that damaging to the professional armed forces? Let's wait for Vulcan before we make a decision. I want to hear his viewpoint. Well, I think if there are hindrances, we should probably remove them. We need all of our resources concentrated on our efficient units that would outperform the enemy in our mountainous terrain. The choice is up to you. I took a moment before making a decision. Remove the conscription. It is a time for a professional force of willing enlisted soldiers. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to remove the conscription, boys. I want a more professional army. Just like Canada, per se, with the GRC and stuff like that. Or even the Swiss, right? They've got the royal forces and stuff. I want a little, like the Swiss guards, the royal guards and stuff. I want that. I want royal guards. I want soldiers that are maximum elite soldiers. I don't need, especially with the allies around me, I don't need a big, substantial army. I just need a strong army, elite force, basically, that can do a lot of damage. A strong knock on the door was heard, and the chief of the armored forces, a Kruger, walked in quickly with a frown. What is the meaning of this, Joseph? Why haven't I been invited? What is going on here? You are overstepping and interrupting a personal meeting between me and the president. Vulcan deliberated the situation. I see what is going on here. I mean, no disrespect, but I am leading the ground operations. I must be informed on any strategic changes. He has a point. The military needs to be on the same page on any changes. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Mr. President. We are talking about our national defense, which must be consulted among all staff. To clarify, we would have brought the subject up with the general staff and you. The matter is rather simple from my point of view. Our forces have gone large structural changes, changing the operational capabilities and tactics. However, at the end of the day, Rumburg has a larger army, Air Force and Navy. Our conscripts will fill the much-needed weakness we have. Agreed, there's a place for reservists. We don't share the same opinion. This is a modern age and it requires a modern army. There we go. That settles it then. I would ask you to consider. Look, I am content with my decision. It is what it is. Alright, then we can move on. We also have to decide how exactly we spend our additional remaining funds in the military. In June, we decided to upgrade the equipment of our military. The military thinks the administration to the extensive support, especially in creating a modern fighting force. We need to decide what branch we would want to modernize more. Well, which branch requires the modernization the most? Exactly. Strategically speaking, the army would be the safest choice. However, the air and naval forces would do well with further modernization too. Which branch should we modernize? Well, Army, Air Force, or Navy, boys? I already have a Navy protecting me. Let's get an Air Force. Let's get an Air Force. There we go. As you wish. The changes will be implemented this month and finish at the end of November. Thank you for listening. There we go. Have a good day. There we go. Have a good day, everyone. I left the ministers and everything's good. All right. So We got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm gonna modernize my Air Force and the equipment for the troops and stuff. My army is getting better and better as the time goes by. Women's Right March in Erika, great. We've got justice system overwhelmed. And over here, police raid on York Swords. This is still going on. Conrad Naval Base update. So has finished moving his ship. As per terms of the new agreement, the Contana military is allowed refuel and repair access to the naval base in exchange for providing logistical, financial, and equipment support to Swordland. Yeah, there we go. So they're getting support, man. They're giving me equipment. They're giving me all sorts of stuff, which is very good. Military-wise, so we got a bad stuff. Lack of reservists, which is bad, but we do have a modernized Air Force. So I think that's a good thing for me. I'm pretty sure. All right, so we are good on that point. What about the Codex? What is this? Governmental. Swedish Armed Forces. Okay, so we got that, and we are good. Okay, what about the news? We've got Boys to Man, not without conscription. This freedom. Swedish boys no longer forced to fight. Exactly. So I'm not gonna force anybody to fight. I'm not gonna force the boys to fight. You know, they can wait it out. And plus, I've got plenty. So my forces have been upgraded big time. And right now we're doing a lot of good job. I feel like my country is very well protected. I feel very secure, boys. Very safe. Our government budget even went up to 2, boys. So you can see how well it's doing because of my 2 allies, right? They're giving me a lot of money. They're helping me really, really good in terms of financial. We went by 1 bar, up by 1 bar with the economy. So economy is going up. We're gonna get out of recession in no time, boys. So remember to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys for the next one. Keep it easy.